Louise just wanted to disappear when she saw her ex walking into the bar. In an impulsive act, she grabbed a stranger's hand and improvised a lie that changed the course of her night and her life. She thought that embarrassing moment would end right there. But on the first day of class, destiny showed that it had much more in store, and the past wouldn't be the only thing to surprise her. Hello, my friends. I am Linda, and this is Linda Love Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. Louise arranged the same row of coloured pencils on the table for the third time. The small colourful chairs were organised in a semicircle, waiting for their new occupants. The classroom walls displayed welcome posters with large, cheerful letters that she herself had drawn. Every detail had been planned for the first day of school. Everything perfect, she murmured to herself, although she knew that perfection in her personal life was far from being achieved. 7 years of relationship with Joseph had ended with a phrase that still echoed in her mind. Louise, I like you a lot, but I think I need some time to understand myself as a person, to understand what I want for my future. However, Joseph's time lasted less than a month before he showed up hand in hand with a new girlfriend. After checking the clock, she still had 2 hours before needing to return for the final decoration of the room. Louise picked up the phone and called Marisa, her best friend since college. Hello? Marisa? I'm having a relapse. Louise, don't tell me you're looking at his Instagram again. No. Maybe. Yes. They're living together, Marisa, and they're engaged. In less than 6 months. We were together for 7 years and he always changed the subject when I talked about marriage. Are you looking at their profiles on the weekend when you should be preparing for your young students tomorrow? Louise sighed, looking at the stack of teaching materials she still needed to organise for the next morning. I must have some problem, Marisa. We were together for 7 years, and he never wanted to take our relationship to another level. And now, with his new girlfriend, he's already engaged. What's wrong with me? Is it because I'm so clumsy? Stop it, dear. There's nothing wrong with you. You are the sweetest and most charming person I know. Sometimes he just wasn't the right person for you, that's all. Marisa paused strategically. I don't want to see you so down like this. My cousin is celebrating his birthday at that bar you love. Come with me to take your mind off things a little. This is going to be good, Louise replied, closing the laptop where she had been spying on her ex's life. But I can't stay out late. Tomorrow is the first day of the school year, and I want to be ready for my new students. The bar was exactly as Louise remembered. Yellow lights creating a cosy atmosphere, televisions showing sports games, and groups of friends chatting animatedly. It was a place that usually made her feel at home, but that night her heart skipped a beat when she spotted a familiar figure at the counter. Joseph. Marisa, she whispered, gripping her friend's arm tightly. Joseph is here. I need to leave. No way. You are not going to run away. Let's go to the other side of the bar. But Louise was already in panic mode, trying to hide behind people as she backed towards the exit. That's when her heel caught on the leg of a chair, and she stumbled backward, crashing into a waiter who was carrying a tray filled with empty glasses. The crash was instantaneous. Glasses scattered across the floor, and Louise landed on her backside, her glasses askew on her face. The entire bar fell silent for a moment, and then all heads turned to see the source of the commotion, including Joseph's. Louise saw when her ex widened his eyes, recognizing her, and began walking towards her. In panic, she noticed a man entering through the main door of the bar. Without thinking twice, she quickly stood up, adjusted her glasses, and approached the stranger, grabbing his hand. Please, just go along with my story, she whispered urgently as Joseph approached. Are you okay, Louise? Did you get hurt when you fell? Joseph asked with a tone of concern she used to find charming. I'm fine, Joseph. She forced a smile, squeezing the stranger's hand. By the way, have you met my boyfriend, the Christian? Completed the man, extending his free hand to Joseph. Nice to meet you. Louise lightly squeezed Christian's hand in thanks, while she observed Joseph analysing the supposed couple with an expression that mixed surprise and something that seemed a lot like jealousy. "Ah, well, good that you moved on," Joseph stammered, clearly disconcerted. "Well, I have to get back to my table. It was good to see you." As Joseph walked away, Louise released the breath she hadn't realised she was holding. "Thank you, Christian, right? I'm sorry for putting you in this situation, but I panicked when I saw my ex coming towards me and—" "It's all right," he replied with a warm smile. "I'm always ready to help a lady in need." His playful tone made Louise genuinely smile for the first time that night. It was only then that she realised she was still holding his hand. She quickly let go, feeling her face heat up. "Well, now I have to go. Thank you once again." Before parting, the two exchanged a look that lasted a second longer than would be normal for strangers. There was something there, a spark, a connection that neither of them could name, but that lingered with Louise throughout the night, even in her dreams. The alarm went off 5 times before Louise finally awoke. When she saw the time, she jumped out of bed in a panic. Late on the first day of school. It could only be me, she grumbled, running to the bathroom. In 15 minutes she was dressed in her favourite purple overalls and a yellow blouse with sunflower prints, a combination the children always loved. There was no time for breakfast, so she grabbed her thermal mug, filled it quickly and rushed to the car. Louise's old yellow car, affectionately nicknamed Sunshine, grumbled as it started. While hurrying down the main avenue, she tried to take a sip of coffee. That's when the car in front of her stopped abruptly, causing her to spill the hot liquid all over the front of her blouse. "Perfect! Just perfect for the first day," she lamented, looking at the brown stain that now adorned her sunflowers. Despite all the setbacks, she managed to arrive at school exactly at 7:30, just in time to welcome her students. Her classroom, number 103, was exactly as she had left it the day before, a small children's paradise. The walls were decorated with children's book characters that she herself had painted. A large welcome mural displayed the names of all the students next to their photos on small colourful clouds. In the corner of the room there was a circular bookshelf with soft cushions, forming the reading nook, and next to the blackboard, a large calendar where the children would mark the days with weather drawings. Despite the chaotic morning, Louise felt that familiar wave of joy as she entered the classroom. New school year, new students. It was always exciting. A sign of new possibilities, new beginnings. And she loved her job above all else. The morning passed quickly between introductions, integration activities, and many curious questions from her new 5-year-old students. A girl named Lily noticed the stain on her blouse and asked, "Teacher, did you spill coffee on your clothes because you were in a hurry to meet us?" Louise smiled. "Exactly, Lily. I was so excited to meet all of you that I didn't even pay attention to my coffee." The children laughed, and she knew she had won over the class. During the break, she headed to the teacher's lounge for a well-deserved rest and perhaps a chance to clean her blouse. The room was filled with the familiar faces of her colleagues, all sharing stories about their vacations and first impressions of the new students. Principal Mrs. Martinez entered, clapping her hands to get everyone's attention. "Welcome back, teachers. I hope you've all had an excellent first day so far. Before you return to your classrooms, I'd like to introduce our new physical education teacher, who is joining us this year. Please welcome Mr. Christian Reynolds." Louise's world seemed to freeze when the door opened, and the man from the bar, the same one who had held her hand and pretended to be her boyfriend, entered the teacher's lounge. He was wearing a blue polo shirt with the school logo and had the same warm smile she remembered from the previous night. Their eyes met immediately, and Louise saw recognition form on his face, followed by a surprised and amused smile. As the principal introduced him formally, Louise tried to process the unbelievable coincidence. After the introduction, the teachers dispersed, returning to their conversations. Louise, still trying to recover from the shock, went to the coffee machine, hoping the caffeine might help her organize her thoughts. That's when she felt someone take her hand, just as she had done the previous night. So, are we going to work together, my girlfriend? Christian's voice had a playful tone that made her smile immediately. It seems so, she replied, turning to face him. What a crazy coincidence, isn't it? Of all the schools in all the cities. It must be destiny, he replied, with a sparkle in his eyes that made her heart race. Or maybe it's just the universe correcting my mistake of not asking for your number last night. Louise felt her face heat up again. Well, now you know where to find me. Room 103. And you can find me at the gym, ready for more heroic rescues whenever you need. They both laughed, and it was as if they had known each other for years, not just a few hours. In the following weeks, Louise and Christian developed a routine. He always showed up at her office door before classes started, with 2 mugs of coffee. To replace the one you're inevitably going to spill, he joked. She began to attend her class's physical education lessons, claiming she wanted to support student integration, when in fact she just wanted to see him in action. Louise's little mishaps became inside jokes between them, like when she knocked over an entire stack of children's books while trying to impress him with her organizational skills, or when, during a school event, she accidentally triggered the sprinkler system, soaking everyone present, including the principal. You are like a hurricane in human form, Christian once commented as he helped her dry documents after another of her accidents. A very lovely hurricane. Their friendship naturally blossomed, evolving into something deeper almost without them noticing. They shared lunches in the staff room, exchanged messages late into the night, and eventually began meeting outside of school. On their first official date, Christian took her to an amusement park. Louise, predictably, managed to spill soda on her dress, lose a shoe on the roller coaster, and almost fall into the lake during a paddle boat ride. But unlike in her previous relationships, where her clumsy nature used to be a source of frustration, Christian found it all charming. I never know what to expect with you, he said as he helped her out of the paddle boat. And that's what I love most about being with you. At the school Christmas party, after 3 months of dating, Christian finally kissed her under the mistletoe he had strategically placed at her classroom door. The kiss was interrupted when Louise, in her excitement, tripped, and they both fell into the hallway, much to the delight of passing students. This is so typical of us, laughed Christian, still on the floor. Louise smiled. Us? So there is an us? I think there has been since the moment you grabbed my hand in that bar. Spring arrived, and with it Louise's birthday. Christian organized a small surprise party in her classroom with the help of her students and fellow teachers. When she entered the room, she found it decorated with balloons, colorful ribbons, and a large poster made by the children. Happy birthday, Miss Louise, the little ones shouted in unison. With tears in her eyes, Louise hugged each of her students, thanking them for the drawings and cards. That's when she noticed Christian at the back of the room, holding a small blue box. I have one more present for you, he said, approaching. But this one is special. When he knelt down, Louise's heart almost stopped. Christian opened the box, revealing a delicate ring with a small blue stone. Louise, since that day at the bar when you held my hand, I knew there was something special about you. Over the past few months, I've discovered that this something special is everything. Your kindness with the students, your enthusiasm for life, even your incredible ability to turn ordinary situations into little adventures. He smiled. You make me want to be a part of these adventures forever. Louise Thompson, would you marry me? Overcome with emotion, Louise could barely respond, yes, before throwing herself into his arms with such enthusiasm that they both toppled over again, to the delight of the children, who clapped and jumped around. Are you sure? She asked, as he placed the ring on her finger. I am a walking disaster. The best kind of disaster that could happen in my life, he replied. The wedding took place in the summer, exactly 1 year after their meeting at the bar. It was a simple ceremony, with students tossing flower petals as Louise walked down the aisle, stumbling only once on the way, to no one's surprise. At the reception, Marissa raised her glass for a toast. To Louise and Christian, who have proven to us that when you find the right person, time is just a detail. Some need years to realize they're not compatible, while others know immediately that they were born to be together. She smiled at the couple. Louise, remember when you once asked me if there was something wrong with you? Now we know there was nothing wrong. You were just waiting for the man who would love every part of you, including your unique ability to turn everyday situations into memorable moments. Louise, wearing a simple white dress, which miraculously remained pristine throughout the ceremony, looked at Christian with love in her eyes. Who would have thought that grabbing a stranger's hand in desperation would lead me to the altar? Maybe I should thank Joseph for showing up at that bar. Or perhaps I should thank your impulsive nature, Christian replied, holding her hand just like on that first night, which, by the way, is one of the things I love most about you. When the newlyweds danced their first waltz, Louise managed to step on Christian's foot only twice, a personal record he celebrated with kisses. And so, the clumsy teacher who once grabbed a stranger's hand to make her ex jealous discovered that sometimes the greatest accidents in life can lead to the most perfect destinations. If you enjoyed the story, please leave a comment with a rating from 1 to 5 to show how much you liked it. Also, watch the video that is now appearing on your screen. See you soon.